So we going to Thailand after this?
We'll see if I can deal with being short for a little longer. It kind of has its like benefits and perks.
I feel like if you're a girl though, it's more like cute, like oh, like she's short. But if you're a guy, imagine being like a guy, like Lil Duval or some shit.
I mean, if you got the attitude,
Yeah,
you can make it work.
matter of fact, that boy Lil Duval, I think just got hit by a car, like today or like yesterday. He was on, I think he was on his like motorcycle or some shit, like on vacation.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Damn, we would have a damn fly in here, bro. I was fucking cooking earlier. Literally opened the door for like 30 seconds and like 10 flies came in. I'm trying to cook. I'm swatting flies and shit.
They wanted some too.
Yeah. What's good though? How you doing, yo? Welcome.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for coming through. You know what I'm saying? We officially rolling. Bro told me to give the guests a little bit of time before we start rolling, so that's what we're doing here. How you doing? You said you've been out here since 4 o'clock?
Yeah, I've just been kind of wandering around town.
Yeah.
Just not doing much.
You said you were in PTC?
Yeah, I got a random craving for kava, and then it was so random, actually, like, you know, I saw that there's Ulta across the street, and then I ended up running into one of my friends that I never see, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just never on this side of town, so.
Yeah.
Like
What's kava?
It's like a Mediterranean, you know, bowl kind of thing.
Okay, I don't know why I was thinking it was a damn, like a drink, like a coffee drink.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, like, could be, but yeah, no, it's like,
It's food, though.
it's food. It's pretty, like, healthy kind of stuff. Oh, hello.
All right. I know you said, so Utopia is in Virginia Beach. We can kind of get into all of that, but I know you said that you were just telling me that you used to do something in City Center. What did you say?
Oh, yeah. So, like, when I first, you know, got my space, I was just, like, kind of looking for places to, like, spread our message. So, in City Center, they would do these, like, fall markets and Mother's Day markets, and they would come invite, you know, people from the community to set up a booth and just vend there, basically. So I would just like bring whatever I had from our like empty space. And
what were you bringing there?
Just like kind of like, you know, knickknacks, handmade stuff. Because I would reach out to people on Etsy when I first started. Like basically, yeah, that's how I kind of met artists, was like through Facebook, Etsy, Instagram, etc. And yeah, so I'd bring their stuff to the markets that I would randomly vend at. And yeah, so that was like one of my first vending experiences. But yeah, I actually ended up just like kind of like learning the business more through doing that. So.
Is that what Utopia started as? Kind of just like a flea market kind of for like local art?
I mean, it really started as many different kinds of things. So it's like the concept came when I was in school. So back in 2011, I went to the London College of Fashion. And
in London?
Yeah, in London.
That's hard. London College of Fashion?
London only.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no. So, like, I was there for 3 years. And so it was just, like, whenever I'd come up with a concept for class, like, I named it after Utopia Feni because Feni is where my dad's from in Bangladesh. And basically, yeah, it was just it was a project to kind of put everything that I had into at the time. Like, I was in school for fashion design and marketing. And so... yeah, it kind of started like that, just like as a brand idea for like an organic fashion wear brand. But then like when I moved back to the States, you know, like I just really didn't really have a concept or a vision of what I really wanted to do. But I just started, you know, I got an office job and I was just like kind of bullshitting for a while. But then I got super sick. And was kind of bedridden for 6 months.
6 months? No.
Yeah. I got meningitis.
I feel like I've seen a commercial of that. Like, if you got meningitis,
right? Yeah, like you're supposed to get a vaccine for it, but I guess I didn't. And like my brain pretty much fried on me. And
wait, so you had like a fever for like a long time or something?
It's like basically like a brain infection.
Yeah. And
so it's like, yeah, you're basically like both of my eardrums like broke and like this I'm deaf in this ear now. Completely. This happened when I was 22.
Yo, what the hell? Yeah. So wait, like you almost like died or something?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, like, yeah, I always forget because it just happened so long ago. But yeah, like that was like right before I opened Utopia. So like it was like while I was recovering for that, you know, I wasn't really doing much, but I was just like getting inspired and figuring out what I wanted to do. And then so I wanted to kind of like throw an art show to kind of get myself back on my feet. And so basically to do that, we had the space already because it's family owned.
Okay.
So
What was it before like you started using it for that?
it was just kind of empty for a while. Like my dad got it in the 80s because it was his doctor's office.
From the 80s?
Yeah.
There's some history in that place.
What?
I said it's some history in that place.
Yeah. Well, like, I've had siblings open businesses in there. I've had, there's been lots of different things that have happened in that space. So, but yeah, so no, I was just supposed to do the one art show. But then I kind of stayed.
Is that was kind of like keeping you going, like while you were battling with your injury, like thinking about that stuff? Like, what are you gonna do in that space?
Pretty much. And it's just like, as soon as I put the sign up, that was like the real kind of catalyst to being like, oh shit, I can never take that down. That'd be so embarrassing.
The Utopia Feni sign?
Just put up this crazy sign just to, be another business that didn't last there. But so basically, like as I was recovering, I was just like making these plans, and I don't know, it worked out. The only reason like I stayed especially was because like I had to get a business license to get like water and electricity. So like when I was first there just building the space, we had neither. So I would bring like jugs of water from home to like flush the toilets and like, bring a picnic basket and like, bring furniture from the house and stuff. And like people would donate stuff. And it just kind of started like completely like that.
Can we back up a little bit? Okay, so you say you were in London. So are you born and raised in Virginia Beach? Like, how did you end up going to London and
You're right.
all that stuff?
Born and raised in Virginia Beach. Like I didn't really like it here when I was growing up, just because like my schools, like, you didn't really see people that looked like me too much, and the culture wasn't as creative like where I grew up. So like, I thought London was kind of like my dream place. And I went to Governor's School for the Arts, which is like the art program in Norfolk. And so that was like what pretty much, kept catapulting me in that direction. And then.
So you wanted to be like a fashion designer at first, or?
Like I was always like a visual artist, but then fashion design, I was thinking that I wanted fashion design because like, it just seemed like it would be fun, but then like actually going to fashion school taught me why it wasn't like the culture of it. It wasn't really my thing. But going back, it's just like, so I decided that London, that was gonna be my dream place with my dream, major and everything. And then I moved there for 3 years. But like, during that time, I kind of learned like why I love here so much. And it's because all the things that you have in a big city, you like the things that they had over there were great, but the environment wasn't really that awesome. Like it was always
What do you mean by the environment?
It was like gloomy,
Like
the
the
cost of
weather
living. Yeah. Like, you weren't really near bodies of water, or at least clean ones. I don't know. I feel like here there's like so much nature. There's not really natural disasters, and you're not that far.
I feel that's the key thing. That's one of the biggest things. Living out here, we don't have fucking really tornadoes, and crazy hurricanes like that.
Yeah, we don't have those extra like stressors. But just even it being gloomy every day over there, it just like took a toll on your mental health and like,
What was some of your favorite things about London?
I really did like all the things you could see. Like, it's like you could spend every day there and see something new, or go to a new place, new business, see new artists, I think I was just too young for the environment too. And I was a student, so it's not like I could live like very well while I was out there. But I mean, I'll definitely go back to visit like for extended amounts of time. But here is just like, I realized whenever I'd come home for like break, it was like a whole vacation. And I was like, why did I leave this perfect place to go struggle?
That's funny. You don't hear people say that much, like leaving VA and then like wanting to come back.
Right.
Especially compared to a place like London. Somebody might think like, yo, London's way better than here. Like,
this is the most convenient place to live in the world. Like, I will die on that because, that's why I built my whole foundation here. Like, I believe in this area.
I like how you said too, like Utopia is kind of like a bunch of different ideas. Like you're just trying like different stuff out. So you kind of, I feel like the way I met you is I came to one of the open mics at Utopia? How did those kind of start? Like,
So, so we opened back in 2015, and then so like around that time, like I was picking up interns, and yeah, we were renting out the studio for like art studio spaces and things like that. So it's funny because like we actually had a very elderly demographic that would come in at first. And like these are like
50, 60?
yeah, like retired artists that were like, oh, this is dope, and we want a place to, do shit too. So it's like, okay, yeah, we would do like paint nights and stuff like that, and then like, but they were like just telling me how cool it was, like especially for me being so young, like that was something that they didn't really get to see when they were like my age, especially in this area. But then like through that, I kind of met more people, more interns and everything. Like a lot of the interns like were like college, students. Some were like
were they like using the place as like an internship for their college?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So Alyssa Pickens, who actually she's done some murals around here. She's an artist. I think she lives in like San Diego. No, not San Diego. San Francisco maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she kind of like threw it in my head like, maybe we should start doing open mics here because like she did live painting at open mics. And so, yeah, we tried it. And like our first one, like, I wasn't really expecting anyone to come because especially my age demographic.
This is 2015 too, right?
2016. It was like, yeah, right at the end of maybe 2015 or 26. I don't remember. But yeah, no, like, so basically... yeah, I just wasn't expecting anybody to come. And all of a sudden, all these kids that were like my age that looked like
You're
people,
like, finally people my age.
I was like, whoa, where did all these people come from? I mean, like, we'd been throwing some exhibits before then. So I did meet people, through Facebook and all that. But yeah, like when I came back also from London, I really didn't have a community out here. So it's like everyone I've met was like from scratch, from meeting at Utopia Feni is pretty much how I met everyone I fuck with today.
That's funny because I actually made like a bunch of connections coming to Utopia too, even down to the shirt I'm wearing right now. I got this from someone I met at Utopia.
That's insane.
He was up here last week.
Oh, wow. See, like that's kind of how it is though, because like I really didn't have a place to meet people. I was very like socially anxious. So it was hard for me to like go out and like meet people. And so, yeah, that's kind of what it was built for, too, just to exist. But, yeah, so, like, that's when we started and then just saw, like, finally something that I love, is happening here. Which, not that I don't love elderly people, but it wasn't really my thing. It wasn't really what I set out to do when I opened Utopia. And I didn't set out to do a community either, but... It's like I just saw that.
What do you mean do a community?
Like
build a community.
Build a community. Kinda? Like I didn't really. I just saw it as like a storefront or an art gallery. You know what I mean? When I first started, but then I realized everyone was like, "We need this. Like this is a place that there's nothing like this around here, especially at the time.
Like a place where people like connect at and stuff."
Yeah. And I was like, once I saw that there's a real need for it, that's when I really started to even take it even more seriously and like. Yeah, just really put the love into it and cultivate. So
when you got back from London, that's when you ended up getting sick?
Yeah. So I moved back from London like the October of 2014. I started working at an office, but I went to Bangladesh actually that like January. I think my brother was getting married that year. But after I got back, I was like super sick. And so I had to get like a sinus surgery because, I guess like all the dust and, bacteria over there, like, yeah, they were basically like, yeah, you're fucked. So,
wait, was it from that trip or like did you know
yeah,
how you got it?
I've always had health issues. I have an autoimmune disorder. And so, yeah, I've been like in and out of the hospital since I was a kid.
So COVID was like a scary time for you?
Yeah, that was actually like when it first came out, I was like, oh shit, this is where I die. Like,
Yo, what the fuck?
but I didn't. I'm glad I didn't. But like I was just like, yeah, like when it first came out, I was like, oh shit, but I'm not really afraid of it now or anything. But, whatever happens. Like I can't really predict anything. But so I was recovering from that. But like during that time, that's when like I guess like more it fucked shit up even more, and like yeah, that's when my brain fried. Like I was getting these like chronic headaches and like just vomiting and stuff like that. Not great. It wasn't
That's
great.
great. When I was a kid too, I used to have did that have something to do with your sinuses or something?
Yeah, well, like I guess like the sinus and the ear, somewhere in between the two, like there was like a deeper infection in the brain. So
I remember when I was a kid, I used to always have like I used to always go to the emergency room. Like I used to have really bad headaches, and they would say it was something with my sinuses. Cause like medicine would never help me. But the only thing that, I don't know if you ever heard of this, but like the only thing that would help me with my headaches is I would take like chamomile tea and like boil it in a pot and like breathe in the steam through my nose.
Yeah.
And that'd be like the only thing that would help me.
Right. Yeah.
So
No, I
like,
discovered this thing called Olbus oil. That was like, it had like more of like a menthol thing in it too to like clear it out. But yeah, no, I've always had to like figure out like natural remedies. But yeah, like I couldn't really escape it this time because this one was pretty bad. I was in the hospital for like 2 weeks straight. Didn't really know when I was going to get out or anything. And then I had a PICC line to my heart for, about that 6 months.
So was this like did you feel like that gave you, not gave you purpose? Was that like, okay, like it's a reason I'm alive? Like I gotta,
well,
was like
the
a
thing
deep
is, I've
meaning
had
for you? Like,
it's funny because it's like, yes, kind of. Like, I think that's what started this Utopia Feni trajectory. But, like, I've been sick like this. You know, like, I had 2 spinal surgeries when I was in high school. So my first and second year, I had, like, a back brace and, like, was relearning how to
you
walk.
all fucked up. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I'm just, that's why I don't talk much. Because it's, like, once I tell you everything, it's just like, it's just like, what else? But, no, I've recovered from a lot. Like, but honestly, during all that time, I'm very grateful. Like, it was very painful, obviously. Very painful, very alienating. Like, I couldn't really socialize. But at the same time, like, it was like learning to meditate for, like, 2 years straight. You know what I mean? Like, I really had to entertain myself in my brain.
So you're big into meditation now?
Yeah. I mean, like, I think I can do it naturally. Yeah, like, I don't know. I can think pretty clearly now and make decisions pretty well. Like I do overthink too, you know, but I think I'm better at controlling my mind because of, you know, the things I've been through and like put things into perspective and like, you know, be patient with people because like I've been through much worse. So it's like, you know, somebody being annoying isn't really the thing that's going to set me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. So, okay. So you would say you went to Bangladesh too. I think, you're from there. Well, you were born here. Your parents were born there, right?
My parents, yeah.
I think Carter was the one that was telling me. He didn't really tell me too much. I was going to ask you, but so are you doing some type of philanthropy thing? Didn't you like build like a school or something in Bangladesh?
So back in 2017, like this was the whole concept for Utopia Feni was like, you know, even when it was the fashion brand, the whole thing was to fund an art program in Feni, Bangladesh, you know, something to kind of develop artists and show them that there's like a platform for people to make money by being creative rather than, you know, like people are taught that they have to be like housewives or housekeepers or
In Bangladesh.
Yeah, or like, you know, work like construction jobs and things like that, but no one's really taught how much money they can make being an artist, you know? So it's like that's what I really wanted to bring to the village. Because like my dad, he had always been a philanthropist, you know, like he helped build like the hospital, mosques.
Really?
Like clinic.
With the money he made in America?
Yeah,
fire.
exactly. Yeah, no, he definitely, no, he like grew up basically in a tin house and, you know, now he made it out here. And so it's like, he's just, that's what it's all about, you know? And so it's like, I kind of learned that value from them. But yeah, like, so that was like kind of my version, I guess, of helping the village out. Cause it's like, I see, you know, there's like a big like drug problem out there too. Like people get hooked on heroin and things like that. Cause there's really no direction. But I know that these
right now,
kids
I feel
are
like
creative.
fentanyl is like taking the world over.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel like it's worse over there. Like, you know, it's so easy to access and it's pretty cheap. Like, as far as like, you know, the village goes, it's like if they can afford
I think that's what the appeal is. It kind of in the whole world with it. Like it's just like a super cheap drug that gets you really fucked up, but then it's killing so many people. Like,
yeah, no, and yeah, it's just a problem everywhere. So yeah, like basically, Yeah, it's basically some like the Utopia Feni art program is just something to get people like off the street, basically.
And that thing that still exists over there,
Yeah,
right?
so-
How's that thing being like run? Like
So
how's
in
that?
2017, I did like basically a Utopia Feni mission trip, where we got donations from over here to find an art teacher out there and pay them a certain amount per month. So they could keep the program going. So it's still going. It's a watered down version. Ever since COVID, like we couldn't really. They're not really in school like that, like they used to be. It's still a village. It's a dirt village with dirt roads. It's not.
It's like a kind of like third world, like
Yeah, like I mean, like the school is like a nice. It's it's like a third world country.
what's the capital of Bangladesh?
Dhaka.
I don't really think I know anything about Bangladesh. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like I mean, the city is pretty. It's built up like Dhaka City. So like, but there's obviously the juxtaposition of super poor people.
Oh yeah.
Super rich people, but no, but then so Feni is like about like 4 hours away. So it's in the very cut of Bangladesh, and yeah. So yeah, it's just hard to get resources out there, but like I am planning on going in the next year to kind of revitalize the program, and because I haven't really been able to put my eyes on it because of COVID and everything.
So you haven't been since 2017?
17. Yeah. So I think I was planning on going in 2020, but then that was, what that was.
What are some of the like ideas you have moving forward for like to revitalize it?
So right now it only services middle school, so like grades 6 through 8. So I'd like to expand it to the high school students. Like the whole point was to, by the time it was done with those middle school students, I wanted to have the high school program ready, but we couldn't really organize that pretty just yet. So I'm basically having to go back from scratch, start with a whole new batch of students, and kind of like, really do it from 8th grade to 12th.
Yeah. I feel like, it's like one of those things, like you have this great idea, but it's like you still got to go get the funding for it, to pay the teachers, to pay the, everybody that you need to run it. Like, what are some things you found trying to get funding for that? Like,
so, I mean, honestly, I just did word of mouth fundraising, Facebook fundraising and things like that. But, I think there are a lot of people who are very supportive. I think we all know somebody who secretly knows somebody with a bag. You know what I mean? And it's just like, if this story is inspiring enough, they'll want to contribute to it, So I think, like for me, like we got a lot of $5, $10 donations, and we kind of built up that way. But then we got like random $1,000 donations from like...
That must be crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like the $5, $10 ones, it's like almost better, because I remember when Bernie Sanders was running for president, and that was like one of the taglines, like most of our donations are $20 average donations and stuff. That just means like regular people are
right,
supporting
exactly.
That, like.
And I think that's like the momentum of it. It's just like seeing how many different kinds of people support, and it's just like, I don't know, like I also believe in God, so it's just like that's definitely a lot of God work, just being able to put my brand in other people's eyes and have them inspired enough to act on it by giving. So
I've been trying to kind of think about that too, like just different ways like smaller time artists can make money with their art before you even have to become like super famous, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think part of that is building these communities in like each city, having like a local community of artists, and like even the regular person that's just kind of put us on their radar, like have them looking for like local art and stuff like that. Like,
no, I mean, I think for sure, like it's definitely cultivated, and it kind of makes everybody in that group more confident in what they're doing. And like when you have a super team like that, like I feel like our local community here right now, everyone's on the same team. And so I think that's why we're doing well as a creative community, because it's like there's really no room for competition because there's so many people out here. And right now we just need people to be watching. So I feel like, like as a community, we're just pulling in new people and introducing them to each other and like making a really strong foundation. So
I get it. What's some like challenges you've kind of like been through just trying to build like a community, even through Utopia Feni, or like having a place where people can come? even like from the business aspects of it, for like from like you said, getting permits, or like has the city been on your
Right.
side and like stuff like that?
I mean, for the most part, like, yeah, like, that was definitely a new thing I had to adjust to, was like, getting all the like legal paperwork for everything. It's not easy to throw a festival. Like, I feel like whenever I throw an event, and somebody tries to do a similar event at Utopia Feni, they don't realize how much work I actually have to put in for these things to happen.
What's
But
some of the work?
learn. Sorry?
What's some of the work?
So like,
wasn't
like
doing
the
an event?
paperwork, dealing with the city, back and forth calls with the ABC office if there's alcohol, or,
Are y'all usually getting those like a day permits? I think they have the day ABC permits.
Yeah. Right now, we're actually finally in the process of trying to open the restaurant aspect of it, so that way we can do more pop-ups and have regular alcohol there. But yeah, right now we just do day permits. It's an art gallery, so we keep it pretty simple right now. But yeah, that's in the future. But yeah, there's just all kinds of things, and it's just like they will hold your permit from you until you have all the boxes checked, and like for whatever reason. And yeah, like, there's things like the fire department coming out just for fun, like just
What
to
do you mean
see,
just for fun?
like, I mean, not just for fun. They're coming to do an inspection of the building, and it's just like,
Yeah.
you never really know what's going to happen. You don't know when, the city's going to have an issue with, how long the grass is, or, things like that. Like, and it all affects how the events go too. So, yeah, no, there's just like a lot of nuances in owning a business that you wouldn't really think to care about, but it's just like everything that happens there is on me. Like, even the first year or two, we didn't have trash collection service, so
You had
I
to
would
take
actually
it yourself.
I would take it, put it in my trunk, and just take it out myself. And like, yeah, that's just how we didn't have internet. It's like I really had like zero, like any capital when I first started. So
And how long was it? You said your dad owned it since the 80s. Your sisters and your brothers kind of had businesses in it?
yeah,
How
one
long
of
was
my
it?
brothers had he had a rescue business, like rescue
Like
paramedic business in there.
Yeah. So how long was it vacant, I guess, before you started?
Actually, I was vacant for more than a year, maybe a couple years, I think. Yeah, I think like just businesses weren't really doing well there, because it is kind of like a hole in the wall. It's so easy to drive by, but that's kind of why I love
It really is hard to get to almost. Like you got to
Yeah.
make that like weird U-turn.
I know,
like,
that's a new thing too, but like, no, I mean, honestly, I'm very grateful that it's kind of like that, because it's like no one comes to bother us because no one knows it's there.
Yeah. I feel like even the fact that it looks like a house, it kind of gives it more of that home vibe. Like it's like a more like it's like a laid back vibe.
Right. Yeah. No, I like that. Like, and then like actually the city's actually very supportive of us. Like, in our mission, bringing diversity to them. And, we are really creating a movement out there. There really was nothing like that, especially in Kempsville, of all places.
Asa kind of got me hip to that. You know Asa from the can?
Yes.
He was kind of opened my mind up to that about like, because he sits on the board of like the city, and he kind of like
he's in the state. He's the state commissioner. I think he's the chair of that, actually.
Yeah, something like that. So like basically like he's figured out a way where the state or like will fund art projects, right?
Right.
But he kind of opened my mind up to the fact like that art really is what brings people to a city. Like the cool shit to do there, the art, even I was just watching a documentary, I forgot now what it was, but it was like they were talking about some random shit, but they were talking about how you got to have certain things in a city that attract good people there.
Yeah, for
Talented
sure.
people, skilled people, workers of all industries. Like, that just made me think like, wow, it's like the artists and like, yeah, artists are really what create a city.
Yeah.
They create the shit to do there, like that they create that atmosphere, the vibe that makes people want to come. Like, and I was just like, it just makes you realize how everything kind of does revolve around art.
I mean, like, honestly, I think it's the thing that really put us on the outward map. But I think, like, businesses and corporations, they've been secretly investing in this area for a while. Like, I don't know if you know about,
Secretly, though?
I mean, back then, now it's not a secret. But, like, when I first started, I kind of knew what was going on. But all this stuff with something in the water, that all happened after, I got started. But, like, but before, there wasn't really a lot of creativity, especially like outwardly. There was, but it just wasn't like networked like that. So I think like the art, it definitely made it more obvious that things are happening because there are a lot more people moving here. Because I guess, did you ever hear about the it's like a digital cable that went from Spain to here? I think there's one from South America to, it was both
like a cable channel?
it's like an internet kind of data cable sort of thing, and they chose
I don't think
Virginia
so.
Beach of all places. So like when I heard of that cable project, I was like, something's happening.
Wait, what is that though? Like, what do they choose Virginia Beach
It was
for?
like, I think it had something to do with servers and just like internet data, basically. So from Spain, there's a whole cable in the ocean connected to Virginia Beach.
Actual cables. Actually, I don't know. This doesn't have nothing to do with that, but I've seen that before. That's how the internet is actually run through the world. There's like
Right.
physical cables that go through the oceans, and in
Yeah.
some places they actually the cables wash up, like they come up onshore and they aren't even buried. They're just like
Right.
big ass cables, like
No,
on
and
the
I guess,
beach.
yeah, but that's apparently they chose, Virginia Beach to be
So
that.
we got some cables from Spain to
So
Virginia
what I'm
Beach.
saying with that, it's like with that, tech companies are obviously investing in that area, and wherever there's tech, there's gonna be art because like the tech needs to be entertained by the art. So that's why like all these big cities like Seattle and like San Francisco, Austin, they're also big places for tech as well.
Yeah. I've been hearing like Austin is like the new spot where kind of a lot of shit is moving to.
Yeah.
And even us having a beach, it's Virginia Beach. Like people drive hundreds of miles to go to the beach.
Yeah, no,
And we got
and
a beach.
it's
I
an
think we actually have the
ideal-
longest strip in America.
Right.
Of beach.
Well,
something like
and
that.
it's just like the thickest beach I've ever seen in my life.
You
It's
mean like the sand?
yeah,
part?
the sand.
Yeah.
Like it's way better than Miami. Maybe our quality of water isn't like that, but like, yeah, just having a clean beach the way that we have, it's a very ideal landscape. And I feel like, yeah, just like everything about our area is pretty ideal, And so it's like, this is the next landmine. This is the next Seattle,
I love this
Atlanta.
I love this talk. I love that VA talk. I feel like everybody always tries to find reasons to hate on our area.
Oh, no.
But it's like, bro, when you really step back and think, we kind of got it made.
Yeah, no,
Like-
it's and I feel like it's a better landscape than any of those places too, just with our nature and our, just everything that we have.
And even our traffic isn't too bad.
It's not yet.
Hey, maybe we'll see. Well, they're about to open up the extra
yeah.
tunnels and shit. So
No,
we'll see,
exactly.
like-
So they're like getting ahead of the problems before they even start, So it's like I feel like we're really running at our own pace out here. And another thing about like being an artist out here, it's like you have to be genuine to make it. People it's not gonna be that LA lifestyle where all you have to do is just like say what the right thing is and, people fuck with you. Like, you have to be a good person out here to even be in the community,
I love that too. I honestly feel like that's what sets us apart. That's what I've been kind of saying. Like that's what I like around. Maybe it's the fact that we are kind of all still like small time. None of us really made it yet, but I feel like we don't have that bouginess that some other places have, and I love that.
Right.
You know
No,
what I'm saying?
it's like literally we just all fuck with each other. It's just like love. You know what I mean? It's just, damn, this is cool. We're doing it. It's like, oh, we're gonna start getting paid to do these things. That's dope too. But we just love doing it. So it just works out like that.
Okay, so you get back from Bangladesh, you get sick, you get out the hospital. So you're doing the art galleries in the beginning. Is mostly elderly people coming in. And what was that initial kind of thing that made young people come?
The open mic.
The open mic. So you're doing the open mics, different things. How did you guys what was the idea of going to the beach and doing the outside?
So Vibe Park. So actually, the Vibe District actually got established shortly after Utopia Feni. So it's like we kind of had that same like timeline, but they're
I'm not even hip to Vibe District. That's just like
so the Vibe District is the official Virginia Beach Arts District.
Okay.
And so it's like city funded, but also, they get grants from all over the place. And it was really something, like you said, to bring people in because they do a lot of like studies on tourism and things like that. And it's just like art really is the thing that cultivates community as well. Yeah, we're just lucky that, it's our community. But so they just, like we're looking for more programming, but they had an issue with diversity. They didn't really have it, like the artists that were getting selected for projects ended up not being diverse, and so That's when Kate Pittman, she reached out to me actually summer 2020 when.
Who's Kate Pittman?
So she's like the head director of the Vibe District.
Okay.
And she reached out to me, you know, like she'd already heard about us. Like I'd already been kind of involved with the city, you know, like just like meeting, you know, different people, you know, like I'll get into that. But yeah, no, she kind of introduced it. And then, you know, we had a meeting and she was like, well, I want to do a project with you where we bring like, you know, maybe a diverse group of artists to paint some murals. So we got to do 3 big mural boards, 8 feet by 12 feet, down at the beach. We painted out there. So it was me, Poetry Jackson, Amber Robinson, and Chris Green. Yeah, I think that's everybody. But yeah, like, yeah, we basically just painted out there, you know, just brought some more cultural diversity out there. And it was funny because it was actually kind of like controversial.
What was controversial about it?
No, just like using the word.
You brought diversity or whatever?
Yeah, using the word diversity. People were like threatening to paint over our murals and like graffiti and destroy them and be like, you know, like when we were featured on the news. It was even like a thing where it was just like, the press was not good. You know, they didn't really take it seriously. And so they like misquoted a lot of things. So it sounded like we were people in need. Like,
what?
you know, just because we're brown people at the beach, it's like, oh, help us get some opportunity.
What? People are weird.
No, but like, it was just like, it was a whole thing. And it was, you know, the protests were heavy as hell. And, you know, it was just a very complicated summer. You know, and so there's just a lot going on.
I don't know who they were tapped into at first, but I feel like it's not hard. If you're looking at the people who are creating out here, it's not hard to see diversity. Everybody is diverse.
But Virginia Beach, you have to understand the people that in charge are not diverse.
Yeah.
And so they're not really looking towards that. Like Utopia Feni was like really the thing that started bringing more of it there. You know, there's obviously business owners out there, mostly white, like mostly like born and raised in Virginia Beach. So it's, you know, it's very cliquey out there and it's not easy for an everyday artist to be a part of it. You know, and like, it's not, I don't know whose fault that is, but it's just like, you know, but that's why they invited us to do this project and they liked the energy we brought, the love that we brought and everything. And like, you know, we're obviously a very respectful community and like we're just bringing more of us out there. It's like we're really the thing that's like desensitizing the beach to like large amounts of diverse people, you know, like for that time, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, but like, you know, that project went pretty well.
And where are these murals placed? Are they like in permanent spots?
Well, no, they were temporary. They actually donated them back to Utopia Feni though.
Okay.
So like they're actually in our backyard, like all around. But yeah, no, they were just like in front of businesses and like they had them during something in the water too. Like our murals were actually should have been a part of something in the water if it happened that year. But yeah, that was a whole.
Okay, so this happened after the first something in the water though?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, after that. And so, but yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't know. We just, you know, kind of just been
so you meet, her name is Kate, right? You said Kate Pittman?
Yes.
Kate Pittman. So you meet her, y'all kind of partner up on the first murals, and then you're just like, I want to do some type of reoccurring thing?
She reached out to me, and I'm also on the Arts and Humanities Commission for Virginia Beach, so it's like...
Hard. Okay.
So, I mean, like, that's another thing. It's like I do stay connected with all of the nonprofits in the area and know a lot about them. And, you know, like, on that commission, I'm on the grant board to, like, help allocate the grant funds to these nonprofits. So it's like there's obviously, like, a lot of politics in there, but it's, like, obviously... when we advocate for these brands, for these companies, it's like, you know, the firsthand experience is, you know, everything. And like being able to connect with them, it kind of continued on my partnerships like all over the place. But I just get to experience firsthand what these places are about. And
it's funny how like we like, okay, like the Off-Road Podcast, Utopia, it's like we have these different kind of brands that are trying to do that, like that build that community and build our scene. But I didn't even really think about it. I guess the city has these teams of people that are trying to do the same thing on
Right.
like a higher level, like
For sure.
So it's like maybe there is more things we could do to kind of work together.
Definitely.
And,
I
like,
think
align our goals. Like,
yeah, like Utopia Feni is definitely a bridge between like the streets and corporate. Like that's how I feel like it is because like I think that's how I am. So I don't know. Like I think, yeah, definitely with our partnership with the Vibe, we are opening up a lot of opportunities moving forward for more curators to come out there, more just artists in general, and more diversity with the kind of music that comes out. And yeah.
So you guys are doing the okay. So you guys started doing the first Fridays at Vibe District. Kind of what's that? What's that about?
So basically, yeah. So Kate gave us the opportunity to, curate these celebrations every first Friday. We bring out like artists, vendors, sometimes like food trucks can
And it's a
come
free
out.
event to the public.
Yeah, free to the public. They just wanted some more programming and like something different, diverse, and so it's like that's why they reached out to us because they like what we have going on in our community. And like like all these artists that we know that are popping off, they have never heard of. So it's just like this is like we're really the people introducing us to the city.
Side note, I guess is the only the biggest events the city was throwing was like the country like festival they do, right?
Right. Yeah. So they have no idea about any of us. You know what I mean? I mean, like they know a select few, but it's just like really we're the people that are introducing them to each other because they're like, little do they know we've been cultivating our culture for so long. So to them, it just popped up out of nowhere. But really, it's just introducing two communities together.
And that's usually how it is with like everything though. Like everything that kind of goes viral to you, whatever. When it goes viral, it goes up to you. It seems like it came out of nowhere, but
right, exactly.
People that were trying to do that for years, like
So it's like it's cool that they like trust me with it, like because like. That's a pretty big opportunity.
So you in these rooms, like, I'm taking this info back to the streets.
No, and it's like, like everybody, like the thing is we're all capable of doing it, but I really feel like I did earn it because like I've really been from the ground up, just like doing it out of love. You know what I mean? And it's like there's really, we've never really turned anyone away. We've never really like had to kick anybody out of the gallery or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like everything kind of happened naturally. But, going back to, I think you said like one of the hardest things about, like having a community and like starting the gallery, I think it was like learning how to trust people. Because, there have been times where it's like I would think that people wanted to be my friend and they did not want to be my friend. They just, they cared more about the assets than what we had. So it's like I'm very protective of my brand and our space and everything. And so it's like, I think I'm pretty good at discerning like who deserves opportunities from us and who doesn't. So, because I think not everybody has the best intentions, but we really do. Like, and that's why the people who are there for us, we really try to give back and like share our opportunities with them. So.
Yeah. I get that. So, and then you guys, I think you said you're gonna, they gave you some spot for a year, you said? The Vibe District, didn't you say something like that?
Basically, they gave us these first Fridays from May to September, but if it continues to go well and we get, they get more funding for it, we get to basically just keep doing it because they really do like, the aspect that we're bringing to them, so. Yeah.
Is there a plan for someone to do in the winter? Because that's outside, right?
I mean, yeah, it's outside, but, honestly, it's like, it's mainly on what we want to do, like I can pretty much pull up at any brewery and be like, hey, I want to do a pop-up kind of thing. But no, I mean, like, as far as that stage goes, like, we'll see what happens, but yeah, like they don't really get to utilize it all year because there's so many permits involved.
I'm trying to think what stage it is. Is that the, what's that?
Do you know where Crocs is?
Is it like kind of like a big stage and then like in the middle of this like grass?
It's kind of like it's colorful stage. It's very like painted stripes. Yeah. It's really cool. Like it's like, but yeah, it is like a little parklet. So right behind Crocs. Like if you go across the street, or Badass Coffee, right across from there, there's
Badass Coffee.
yeah, it's
That's
called
fire.
Badass Coffee. And it's actually very good.
That reminds me of I used to be an electrician. And I was putting together this fan one time in this like $1 million home, and there was like this big ass fan. Literally, the brand of the fan was called Big Ass Fan. It said it on the box.
Oh
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's
I've
funny.
seen those before.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but yeah, that's like.
But no, that's real too. Like having people just meeting new people, having maybe people like to try to take advantage or whatever. But like, I agree. I think it's clear. Like, people's intentions. Like you can't really hide the truth, but so much.
Yeah, but I mean,
And
yeah.
it is also business, so shit has to make sense.
Exactly.
Like in business
You know,
wise.
I was definitely a baby when I came into. You know, I really was very innocent. Very like I grew up during this whole process. I was actually very shy when I first started, but now, you know, I really have to deal with so many people on a daily basis that I can't be anymore. You know, like I've had to really learn my boundaries, learn what I like, what I don't like, and just like be firm in that. But yeah, this whole journey like kind of like created what I am today. So
Or like even like you said, like putting trust in people. Like I'm kind of learning that too. Like trusting people and not trying to do every single thing. Trusting for somebody to do their job or like
right, yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, yeah, no, there's the opposite side too, where it's like sometimes you get mad at people for like doing the wrong thing, but they're not bad people. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people fuck up. It's like you learn patience. People are just human, especially artists. Artists are very human. Not as consistent as like, you know, what we're taught the real world is about.
I think part of doing this is I kind of agree. I've been kind of going on my own journey of artistry doing this too, but dealing with artists, fuckers can't give you a headache sometimes. we're an awkward bunch sometimes.
Right.
Like,
No, it's like we're all just a bunch of individuals, like not sticking to any script. So it's like, yeah, you really have to be a patient person to run shit out here. Like, you know, especially to like run something loving like this platform and everything like that. It's just like, yeah, you have to really give a fuck to keep it going.
have you had to fire anybody?
Fire? No, I've, you know, like luckily people that I didn't want around kind of took themselves out. But maybe I created that energy around it. But
That's kind of been happening in my life too. For like the people leave your life on their own. You don't really
Well,
gotta
that's
do
the
much
thing.
if they're not meant to be there.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, I was the one with the asset. You know what I mean? So people came to me.
I like how you call it an asset too. That's why.
Yeah, but people had to come to me. It's not like I went to them, started bothering their shit and getting in their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it just kind of naturally happened. Like at the end of the day, I was always firm in what I wanted. And, you know, if they didn't like it, it's like, you know, like we had definitely multiple, like I was very patient. So it's like I definitely gave people multiple benefits of the doubt, but it's just like there's only so far I can go without saying no, you know. It's like once but you know, like you realize like once you start to say no, people just like don't fuck with it anymore. And it's like, wow, you only really were here because you didn't realize I had boundaries, or you didn't really, like the things that I didn't like, that's not what you're about. I mean, that is what you're about, is the shit that I didn't like. So it's just like, you know, it's just incompatibility at that point.
That's interesting. What are some other things you think you learned about yourself like doing this?
I mean, I learned I can lead. You know, I really thought I was kind of like a background character, you know, especially not being socialized growing up. I had very like bad social anxiety. So the fact that I can command a room or like host an open mic night and feel good about it and feel good about my brand, being secure in my brand, like this is all new, you know, like knowing that I have a product that is going somewhere and is changing lives. It's like, yeah, it's the thing. So
I love it. So okay, you touched on also like Facebook marketing in the beginning, kind of. Are you guys doing anything as far as like marketing now, like for these different events, or kind of
it's
word of
really
mouth?
just word of mouth now. You know, like actually, like some of my friends, like great friends, best friends that I'm friends with now, it's just like I messaged them on Facebook and like was like, hey, can you show your painting? You know, it's like we weren't even friends back then, but it's like through the years, you know, it's like, damn, like these are the people I hang out with all the time. You know, the whole Rebel House, that happened because, so you know Batman?
I'm not. He was part of Rebel.
No, Batman, I met him, so back at Work Release back in the day, they invited me for a
Work Release. I'm about to cut you off. That was like a club, right?
yeah,
That
right
was like
before
Drum kind of
Slow Dive
blew
is
up?
like by the same creators.
Okay.
So Work Release, you know where that commune is in Norfolk.
I'm not hit, but is Work Release where kind of Drum popped off at? Where
Kinda, yeah,
I feel like I
yeah.
heard that a few times.
Yeah, like that's the thing. That was even before I came on the scene, you know, and so yeah, I was invited there, and there was like it was basically a diversity equity meeting kind of thing because like there was a lot of bullshit happening at the beach.
They've been trying to get diverse for a while, but hasn't been working out. Yeah.
No, exactly, and like you know for me, it was really cool to be in that room because it was like a bunch of like leaders, you know, and Batman sat next to me, and then I was like, oh yeah, I have this art gallery. I'm gonna do an open mic. You should come tomorrow. And he actually showed up, and he actually like invited people. I think that's how I met Justin Battle. Justin Battle came, like, because the Rebel House was just down the street. The yellow house from Carter's album. Yeah, that house was literally just like a few blocks away. So, yeah, so that's kind of like they naturally came in and, yeah, I just started hanging out and one by one I met like everybody and, you know, that's the community I'm around and that I work with. And,
Yeah. Are you guys trying to reach other places, or are you focused just more on this area?
I'm just like passionate about this area. So like, yeah, Virginia Beach is definitely like, you know, like the way I can talk about Virginia Beach, I can't talk about everywhere like that. But at the same time, we do build community in other places. Like I have family in like New York, Atlanta, Houston. And so we're actually trying to throw a show in Atlanta next. You know, and just like
Utopia Feni Atlanta edition?
Yeah, like exactly. Like we'll start with an event and see how it goes. But it's like I think we really do have like now that we've been doing it for 7 years, it's like we have a
Like
pretty good formula,
Yeah.
for like because like we know that this works. We know it's valuable, and we know that like just showing people you care is all it takes for them to grow as artists. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like, but yeah, right now I'm just like focused. You know, we are a nonprofit, so it's like I'm focused on just refining, making it like very like iron.
What is really a nonprofit? Like, what is the?
It's just
Like you're not
it's
allowed
like
to make money, or like
it's like a charity. So basically, yeah, we don't pay taxes because we are helping the community.
Yeah.
So,
But what does that mean as far as like your bit? Like, is there like a limit of how much profit your business is allowed to make, or like how do you stay
No.
afloat as a nonprofit?
So no, it just runs like a normal business, but you can also get donations as well.
Okay.
And that's if it's viable to be a charity, you know, like, so yeah, we count as a charity because we are helping the community, but also in Bangladesh, we're helping.
Oh, so that's run through that too.
Sorry?
That's run through that too.
Yeah, exactly. All of it's run through. That's why we're a nonprofit, though. And like, but yeah, with that, it's like there's lots of corporations out there looking to give big 50 to 100K grants. Even the cities give those kinds of grants.
We're trying to get something like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like it takes some research. I would never suggest this route unless you're gonna put your all into it. You know, so it's just like if you can do it, like yeah. Basically, with me being on the commission, it's like I'm learning the system from the inside, and so it's like I'm not gonna apply for these grants now, but later in life, it's like I know what exactly I have to do to earn them. So
Even on like the diversity aspect of it, so these people in these rooms, they want to take that initiative and
I mean, it's not like they want to not be diverse, but it's just like kind of naturally happens like that. Like maybe there's prejudices that they're not even aware about. You know what I mean? So like I notice myself, like when I'm in these boardroom meetings, especially when we're like fighting for grants and stuff, like I'm probably one of the loudest ones in the group. And I can talk very like frankly because I actually deal with all of these nonprofits on the ground. As an artist, I interact with these nonprofits. That's a perspective that they don't really have, because the board is really made up of developers, doctors, and different high up executives in the city. So I get to give them the street perspective of what
What's
these
your
places
point
are
of
really
like connection
doing.
with them? What do you like try to make that bond at? Because I feel like when I'm working with artists, I feel like it's easy to create that bond, like a relationship with an artist. Like we bond over the art.
Right.
What's kind of your point of like?
I mean,
attack on it with them?
I'm just like good with people. Like honestly, that's why Utopia Feni works. Is because it's like I just care about people. It just so happens I'm an artist and I care about art, But like honestly, I can get along with anybody, left, right, up, down. Like I'm just very open minded. So it's like I'm able to communicate in a way they understand. And so, usually when I'm fighting for these nonprofits, I can go pretty hard. And usually I kind of get my way because it's like I know what I'm saying. And it's very like, it's with conviction because I mean it, Like I'm not just bullshitting on that board. Otherwise, I would just not do it. Like,
Yeah. That's fire. That's fire. Okay, so now officially Utopia has been open for how long?
7 years.
So you 7 years
in
in.
August.
7 years in. Is there something that, okay, let's say there's a girl somewhere that's in the beginning stages of where you were at 7 years ago. What advice would you kind of give her?
Like basically, let me think. Well, I honestly, the advice would be just like, just take it slow. Don't give up. Basically, like the consistency of me being there every day is what made it what it is today. Like I didn't see progress for 3 years. I don't think we got like steady traffic until 3 years after I started. So like first 3 years are just like me painting a wall or fixing a window or, every day was a different project. So it is going to be hard. But the blessings come, the longer you do it, people definitely love that consistency and that's what builds it. So
Yeah. That's fire, dude. That's fire. I feel like that might be a fire spot to leave them at. We're about an hour in.
all right.
Is there anything else you want to leave the people with? I know we got the first Fridays happening right now at Vibe Park. The open mics on Thursday. That's what is that? Every other Thursday, right?
It's every other Thursday. We're looking to make it every Thursday.
But I know that the first Friday's been kind of throwing that off a little bit, right?
Yeah. But definitely like looking to expand that. So actually, I guess I can announce it now.
Okay.
We are working on a big like citywide kind of festival in Virginia Beach. With so like back during pandemic, Gabe and I, we started VA We Love You to just bring artists together during that time.
What is VA We Love You?
So basically, it's just like a movement. Basically, we, during pandemic, everyone was isolated. So we came up with the idea to kind of create like a digital platform for artists. So like have people submit their art, poetry, and, we would do drops every week of all the new content and like people could shop. Like we had like a little marketplace. So like if artists wanted things to sell, it was just like something to connect artists. And then we partnered up with Marco's Pizza because Nathan Geist, who does Midnight Geist, he connected us at the time. He was working there at the time as their marketing guy. Basically we got to donate a bunch of pizzas to like frontline workers, like garbage men. We did like nurses, hospitals, like, just everybody like in the city. And so during that, and then like at night, we'd come back to Utopia where Javi Loplex.
Shout out Javi.
Yeah, Loplex. Like that's where a lot of this like really cultivated, like especially like us as a team. But yeah, like we would do live streams on IG and like Gabe, Niles, like they would all do like, and Daff, Direct Daff.
I don't think I know him.
So them and Javi, they would all just DJ for like.
I met Loplex on some random shit. We did I had a show. I do like a show at the Can, and we were rehearsing for it. And I guess he like when we got there, he was leaving, and then he was packing his stuff up, but he ended up staying back and like helping us with our sound, like getting it right. So my first experience, me and him, was like he was like helping us out. So
Right,
shout out to
right.
bro.
Yeah, no, that's just the guy he is, like, but yeah, no, we definitely, we built this thing, and then we ended up, getting involved with the protests, and just, it was just a thing to help out the community. So this September, for our, hopefully not our final First Friday, but they've given us the opportunity to, kind of cultivate the whole weekend. And basically, we're going to call it Where the Heart Is. And that's, do you know Social Supply? Social Supply. So
I'm not even too hip with stuff in Virginia
right.
Beach.
Yeah, no, I figured. So welcome. But so Social Supply, they're a cool brand out there. And then there's, Midnight Geist, and us, Utopia Feni, Rebel. We're kind of kind of the brain power behind it. But we're creating a walking festival called Where the Heart Is.
Walking festival?
Yeah, so basically taking over a bunch of different venues, and curating different curators, I guess, different creative organizations, kind of pairing them together.
Like a festival, but at different locations and shit?
Yeah, and so
I've never even heard of that.
We would kind of create a map, so people can go to they can see what's happening that day. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there's gonna be different things. So our festival will be the kickoff that Friday, but then Rebel, they're gonna have a cookout at Seaside the day after. Social Supplies gives you something at Crocs. That's the after party for our festival.
That's crazy. Wait, so a walking festival. So what if in the future it just ends up every single
that's
place
kind of
in,
the point.
Virginia Beach?
This is only our first year doing it, so it's just we're just kind of marking down what organizations want to be a part of it. If you guys want to be a part of it,
that'd be fire.
There's definitely ways to include everybody, whether you're an artist, you're a vendor, you want to be a sponsor, you want to have a venue. If you have a venue, if you want to use a venue, there's all kinds of ways to get involved. But yeah, we are kind of keeping it kind of low key right now. But South by Southwest, it's that kind of style where there's panels, exhibits, music festival, it's just everything. So. Yeah, and we have the Vibe District's support. We're looking for city support. So.
And what is it called?
It's called Where the Heart Is.
Where the Heart Is Festival, walking festival. That reminds me of my friend invited me, I think last year, to something that's called a bar crawl.
Yeah,
you ever heard of that? That
yeah.
reminds me of something like that. You're going to multiple spots. It's almost like an adventure too, though. That's
exactly. I kind of we were talking about. Having QR codes at each place. It's if you collect all the QR codes, I don't know, something happens. We don't know yet.
Pokemon Go shit. Different Pokemons at every spot.
But it's it's called Where the Heart Is because it's our home, and it's really it's made out of being genuine. So it's we're really trying to show people we have a really genuine creative community that's very loving, and then we can all get along together, and we're really bringing that aspect of all of our different cultures to the beach. So
I love it. So this is supposed to be a weekend thing, a multiple day thing?
September 2nd through 4th.
Cool. Okay, I'm gonna be here. I'm going to Bosnia this summer, so I'm gonna be here for that though.
Yeah.
That's hard. Hell yeah, that's fire. So this was the official announcement. You just made it on the Offer podcast.
This is,
come on.
If you didn't hear it anywhere else,
this is it. That's hard. Did you want to leave the people with anything else?
I guess that was it. Really, I'm just grateful to do what I do. So.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. I love it. Okay, so we appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you for sliding. All of Raeesah's links will be in the description. If you're in the area, Utopia Feni is always doing some type of event, so definitely pull up. And like I always say, fuck with an artist from the 757, and we'll catch you next week. Peace. Hell yeah.